at iloveny.com.
You're watching a B.A.S.S. presentation.
It is Championship Sunday, and not just any Championship Sunday, the final Championship Sunday, the 2024 Bassmaster Elite Series. Of course, the Hummingbird of Bassmaster Elite at the St. Lawrence River, and we return to the former home of the record crowd, Waddington, New York. That record now held by Orange, Texas. But atop the leaderboard, one number you hear about a lot coming in this event, a lot of anglers predicted we would not see it. A century belt earned by Robert G. unofficially right now, 100 pounds and an ounce. All those weights unofficial until they hit the scales this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. See that on Bassmaster.com. And where are you going to be seeing us from? Well, the great state of New York, and as I've said, Waddington, New York, some 84 miles from the mouth of Lake Ontario, where a lot of our anglers have been moving towards all week long, but these last couple of days, a lot less.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the anglers the last couple of days, like you said, have fished in the river, and a fair amount of them had success. We've seen Drew Benton and others, Caleb Summerall yesterday. Too rough out on the lake. He went out there, came back in the river, and maybe had a better day than he would have out there on the lake. So a lot of fish between here and the lake, but it has really been happening just a little shy of the lake. We've been seeing Chris Johnston, Trey McKinney, and Robert G. right there in one area around Carlton Island.
A very busy area, and it was yesterday and again today, but let's get caught up with what's been going on the water all day long with your Yamaha Midday Report. We'll start it off with Drew Benton. Went out this morning in 9th position. Pretty relaxed way to finish the year. I mean, last day of school, you passed all the exams. You can't really fail, but you can make a big mark here today.
This is where some people would use a cut day close to the end of school. Just a cut day for Drew Benton, but he didn't cut today. He's moved up from 9th place to 6th place, staying in the river, taking it easy. A little weather this morning there for him, you could see, but moved up from 9th to 6th place, which is cha-ching money. He's in the Classic. He's had a good, solid year, but gaining some more money to his all-time career winnings, which has been really, really good since Drew Benton came over to the Bassmaster Elite Series Rookie of the Year to start out, and we had that awarded yesterday.
Of course, Trey McKinney, our new Rookie of the Year, and I'm sure we'll see from him. But Drew Benton ain't going to have a cut day. I mean, when you've got a hot teacher, you want to show up to class, and there is no hotter teacher, figuratively, than the St. Lawrence River in smallmouth bass fishing. It is the best in the world.
Yeah, honestly, we go to great, amazing, very diverse places on the Bassmaster Elite Series, but where we were last week and where we are here this week, every single time we come through the years, anglers say, I don't want to get cut because I want to go back out and go fishing again tomorrow.
The amount of anglers that are still in town waiting to go when this tournament is over is amazing. Shane LaHue, what he's done this week, amazing. The baby shark, when so many turned around at the mouth of the river yesterday, he did not. He hammered through, cranked the creed, and got it done.
Cranked the creed. I like that. So, yeah, Shane LaHue, Classic berth on the line. He was a little out of the Classic coming into this event. Needed to have a good event last week. He did, and needed another one this week. He certainly did. Cracked the top 10. He's in the Bassmaster Classic. 89 pounds and 12 ounces unofficially. And you're right, yesterday for him to go out there where he went and fished yesterday, a lot of determination. And people that have never fished up here don't realize how much of a commitment it is for yourself, your body, your cameraman, and your equipment to go out on Lake Ontario on days like yesterday.
Well, this guy's used to doing just that. Chris Johnston became the first Canadian to ever win Progressive Bassmaster Angler of the Year yesterday. And all the hoopla, what was missed is he tied for the biggest 5 smallmouth bass ever weighed in 29 pounds, 5 ounces yesterday. And, man, just when you thought he was out, he is very, very much in.
Yeah, it really was amazing. And I got to talk to Chris a little bit yesterday afternoon after he had got the trophy handed over to him. Just absolutely incredible the day he had yesterday. After he admitted he kind of spun out the first day or two here on the St. Lawrence River, which I don't think anyone, including his own brother, would have thought that would have happened here, of all places on the St. Lawrence River. But 29 pounds, 5 ounces yesterday got him that Angler of the Year trophy and put him in position to win this event also, where just 24 hours before that, it looked like, wow, we might see one of Johnson brothers finish, maybe even miss a cut. He was in the mid-30s going into yesterday, but that didn't happen.
Well, the other half of the Johnson brothers juggernaut is big bro Corey Johnson, and obviously the halfway point of this tournament is in two-way tie with Robert G. He's never been out of the top three, basically, and he wants to double down in 2024. I mean, after he won that, it took him like 12 minutes to say, I'm going to win another one this year. Yeah, he really did. It was amazing. He said the same thing. I think we were together there right after he won, and Corey, instead of taking time to celebrate, holding that blue trophy over his head, like you said, he just immediately would say, well, I'm going to win another one before the end of this season. We still going up north. So great job for Corey Johnson all week. Yesterday, he really got beat up going to his fish, but he was determined to go there. And, man, they were biting and biting good. But he and his cameraman had a rough go at it a little bit yesterday. The area of Lake Ontario he was on, I talked to some other anglers like a Clark Wendlandt that went over towards Chamote Bay area. It wasn't nearly as bad as over there where Corey was. And for Corey Johnson to say it's the roughest water I've ever fished in on Lake Ontario, that's saying something. That sure is. Well, we've been dealing with him all year long. Trey McKinney, 96 pounds, 10 ounces. I loved his honesty on stage yesterday when I said, what do you got to get better in your sophomore season? And I kind of planted that, expecting, like, is this kid going to tell the truth? Right away, he said, I got to be better at reading things. You've been doing this a long time. Have you ever had an angler say that to you? What are you going to do in the offseason? I need to read more. Have you ever had anyone say anything like that? No. It was a surprise to me. And some of them need to, but they still don't say it. That's right. That's exactly right. But he did say it. Now, will he do it? That's something to be determined later, I guess in February next year when we start the new season off. But what a year he has had, other than a few times where maybe he should have done a little more reading. What a phenomenal year he had from start to finish. Trey McKinney, currently unofficially in second place. There is your tournament leader, Robert G., unofficially the first angler to join the Century Club this time around. Many said it wouldn't happen. They said they got half the fishing time running out of Waddington. We will not see a Century belt. Well, they didn't tell that to Robert G. Sure didn't. I did say coming into this, I'm going to kind of run him over you. If nobody else remembers, I did say one angler would have 100 pounds the winner, but I think I'm going to be wrong. There's enough fishing time, I think, that Trey McKinney, Corey Johnson, or Chris Johnson, one of those anglers will exceed the 100 pounds before they get back to weigh in also. So, like you said, very few, if any, people predicted it'd be multiple 100-pound stringers, with it being 84 miles from where we are here at the takeoff at Waddington all the way to the mouth of the lake. Well, I don't want to one-up you, but I said the same thing. I said we'd see 1 to 2. Okay. I don't think we'll ever come here and not see them. Just simply because the fish are getting bigger, the anglers are getting better at it. Technology allows them. I think the biggest difference with the technology is I don't feel like they're all of a sudden catching more, but they are ultimately because it allows them to relocate those fish a lot quicker. In the past, smallmouth were these phantoms that disappeared.
Decent,
not anymore.
Got a decent limit. They're not easy to catch today. That's for sure. But I know what lives here, and I just need a few more bites to get up to, around that 25, 26 pound range. I've got some solid ones, but I need to cull out one I've got under 3. But we're just gonna keep trucking along, and I'm gonna stay here for a little bit longer. I don't really feel like leaving. I caught one close to 5 a minute ago, so they're here still. You just gotta execute. Got a little breathing room too. It feels good.
Update is we need 3 more bites. We missed 2 and lost 1. It's been a struggle for sure, but I mean, I'm still seeing some. It's just almost impossible to get my bait to them and present it properly. But see what we can do here.
Yeah, we just
Take a look at
got
that.
out here. I said I was going to do 2 drifts. This is kind of the end of the second drift. No bites, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be for wind, but we're slightly protected. I'm sure where my brother is, it's a whole lot worse. But we're going to head back into where I caught him this morning. I missed 2 in the last half hour. They look like good sized ones on the live scope, so we'll head in there. If you get 2 6-pounders, you never know what could happen. So they obviously live there. They're just being a little more stubborn today. Maybe when this freight...
Well, we learned yesterday Corey Johnson is not afraid to puke and rally. and that might just happen again by the looks of things.
Yeah, it's so difficult staring at his graphs as much as he is and trying to not just look at the big picture of his graphs, but find his bait and get it, present it like he said, present it properly in front of those smallmouth bass. You are really trying to focus in on a dot. And when you're moving around that much trying to focus on that dot, it'll make the best of them have motion sickness.
Things a little calmer over with Robert G. for the 3rd event in a row. He's inside our top 5 on Championship Sunday. And he started off his Elite Series career doing that on Toledo Bend. I mean, when he's on him, he is on him.
Yeah, and it's been, about half of the tournaments he's been in our top 5 in the final day. That's a great start to his Elite Series career. Much slower for him this morning than it has been the last 2 days, but I just kept reminding myself, and hopefully he did.
Oh, no.
Day 1, he didn't catch a fish until 10:30.
It out a little bit, Every time, the first 2 days when I was here, every time the wind kicked up a little bit harder, they bit way better than they did when it wasn't. So it's just harder to, control your boat and position your boat properly, but it ain't horrible. Trust me, I went out.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. He mentioned about the wind. The first day that wind picked up about mid-morning, 10-ish or so, and at 10:30 he started catching fish. Yesterday and Friday, the day before, the wind blew obviously more than it did on day 1, and he caught them all day long. And yesterday, Chris Johnson caught a lot of them. Trey McKinney, if you think about, there's been several hundred pounds of smallmouth bass taken off of this 100-yard stretch of the shipping channel. Yeah, so even the best lakes in the country, they're going to only replenish to a certain number of days and keep kicking out those trophy-sized fish.
Yeah, on day 2, watching G on day 2, it seemed like this is a fountain that will never run out.
Yes. It's just so difficult here to lay off of them because the weights just surprise you every single time.
Well, what doesn't surprise you at the end of the season is so many tournaments on the line. Everybody focused, of course, on the final Elite Series title of the 2024 season, but the overall season trophy, what most anglers, including yourself, say is the greatest honor in this sport, Progressive Bassmaster Angler of the Year. And Chris Johnston, after knocking on that door literally every year he's been here for the most part since joining, he finally gets it done, and he is the first Canadian ever to do it. And his boys just wanted the trophy. They just kept trying to take it out of his hand. Give me that thing, Dad. You'll earn your own in a few years, I'm sure.
discover the Dakota Lithium DL Plus 135 amp-hour battery. With dual-purpose 135 amp-hour deep cycle capacity and an impressive 1,000 cold cranking amps, this innovative battery is equipped with even